Good evening, hockey fans, and welcome back in to the Neutral Zone on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. It's back after the unbelievable run that was the Milan Cortina Olympic Games for USA Hockey. We are back to your regularly scheduled hockey programming. The NHL has 8 games going on tonight, and they've got more underway tomorrow as everybody's getting back into their groove. Is everybody back from Italy yet, or are there going to be some notable names and faces missing for a couple of days? We will discuss that. The PWHL is also getting back underway after USA Women took gold in Milan Cortina as well. They'll be getting back underway tomorrow night with 3 games. Will anybody be able to catch Boston or Minnesota, or are we going to have a rematch in the Walter Cup Finals? The NHL trade deadline is just around the corner. I'm sure the GMs were all busy. Anybody they've signaled out or got their eyes on, we'll be discussing that. And who's really real in the NHL right now, and who really should be starting to pack things up and starting to look forward to the fall and next winter. We'll be discussing that as well. Plus, Gavin McKenna just had himself a night. We'll be discussing that as well. All that and more coming up right now on the Neutral Zone. Let's go. Hello, everybody. Good evening. Welcome one, welcome all. You have found your way into the Neutral Zone here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. He is Freddie B. I am Adam Karnik. Together we do this crazy thing every Wednesday night, usually right around 9:30 Eastern, 6:30 Pacific, and you fill in the gap for whichever time zone might be yours. We had some fun on Sunday.
We did.
An extra show after the history that was made in Italy, but now we're settling back into a groove. But before we get too far in, Freddie, I know you had some words you wanted to start the show off with.
Yeah. Well, first of all, Adam, we just came off the greatest week of international Olympic hockey that we've ever had here in the United States, with both the men and the women capturing gold. And we're powering in, and we're going to get into the stretch run of the NHL season. But I just wanted to give my condolences and give my thoughts and thanks for Jim Boomer Gordon of NHL Network Radio Sirius XM. He passed away this past Monday, and Boomer talked hockey like nobody else could. Great guy to listen to, and being on the West Coast, and a lot of my job, over the years has been driving, and I've been able to listen to him and what he's done. And for guys like him, that's why there's spots like for me and you, Adam, to do what we do and enjoy hockey, and for those to listen to us. So Boomer, thank you for the memories. Thank you for all the hockey talk you've given us over the years. And it's going to be a big loss to the NHL Network family, but hang in there, and all the best to you.
Yeah. The Sirius XM released a statement earlier this week that he passed away surrounded by his loved ones. So fortunate his family able to be with him in those final moments. Cancer sucks. There's not, I don't know that there's a single family out there that hasn't been affected in
some
cancer,
way. Yeah, of course.
In some way. So it's, if it's any consolation to his family, he didn't lose his battle. He went down swinging. He went down fighting.
Yeah. I don't like that term when they say losing your fight to cancer. No, he didn't lose the fight. But yeah, thank you, Boomer, for all those years of just talking hockey, just a down to earth guy, and was a great guy to listen to. And his co-host was Jake Hahn, and I can only imagine, how he's feeling. Jake's made his career working alongside Boomer, and he's done a fantastic job, and he's only going to continue that show going forward. So best of luck to all those guys. But yeah, let's get back into it now, Adam. The NHL is back.
Yeah.
Games are back starting tonight, and there's some doozies already.
Yeah, absolutely. For those who might be new to the show, first of all, welcome in. We're so glad that you are here. We do this every Wednesday night, right around 9:30 Eastern time. Yeah, give or take, as screaming children allow sometimes.
Yep.
As things go, we are live across YouTube and Twitter, and also we are live on iesportsradio.com. So those are the places you can catch the show live every week. And then the show is also available on YouTube every week as a podcast after that. We always like to start off with the scores, and we've got 8 NHL games in action tonight. So let's, it's kind of nice a little bit to kind of get back to, all right, well, here are the scores, as opposed to, in Italy, where it's like, well, the scores got done 12 hours ago by the time we were on the air.
No, we have live games going on right now we can report on.
It is nice to have that. We do have a couple finals in New Jersey. They welcomed back. Did you see the ceremony for Jack Hughes in New Jersey?
I did, man. I did. That was something else.
That was epic. That was fantastic. Unfortunately for the Devils, it kind of stopped being fun after that. As Buffalo won that game 2-1.
Yeah, Buffalo starts off right where they left off. They might win. They might finish second in their division.
Absolutely. And then also going final a little bit earlier tonight, the Washington Capitals taking on the Philadelphia Flyers and handling them 3-1. Trevor Van Riemsdyk ultimately the winning goal in that one. And then Alexei Protas got a shorthanded empty netter to close out the scoring on it.
That's the best way to get one.
Hey,
you just fling it down the net. It's not no icing, and you have a chance. And those are the great ones when they go in, right?
Yep, absolutely. Tage Thompson, also a big night. He comes back from Italy and has himself a nice first night back. 2 points in the Sabres 2-1 win, a goal and an assist in that one, though the winning goal went to Peyton Krebs, his 8th on the season. Getting that. Elsewhere, we've got in the third period, the Tampa Bay Lightning. They don't have John Cooper. We'll get into that a little bit later. It doesn't matter. They are handling the Maple Leafs 3-0 right now. Kucherov, John Claves, and Braden Point scoring.
Look at that. Braden Point was held out of the Olympics due to his injury. Takes that extra time, comes back and scores in his first game back. So
hey, nothing.
They played that perfectly, and Kucherov gets the first goal of the night. I mean, Kucherov just got the third goal of the night. So yeah, geez, Tampa Bay, they're a force.
They are. They are always there to be reckoned with.
So good.
Second intermission right now, the Dallas Stars absolutely destroying the Kraken right now. It is 4-0, and through 40 minutes of ice time, Dallas is out shooting Seattle 25-9.
25-9
through 40 minutes of ice time. Wyatt Johnson, Sam Steele. My phone keeps refreshing itself here, so I apologize as I have to pause. Wyatt Johnson, Sam Steele, Matt Duchene, and Wyatt Johnson with a pair of goals. Matt Duchene and Sam Steele also scoring on the night for Dallas.
Adam, and that's a huge game for Dallas to start. They're right now 6 points behind Colorado. They win tonight. Colorado, who's the next game we're going to talk about, 0-0 end of the first, right?
Just about, yep.
Dallas can be 4 points behind Colorado, and Colorado isn't playing a couple other players tonight. So there's a good chance Utah can win that game.
Utah could win that game, and that would be big for Dallas in a lot of ways. So 8 games going on tonight. We'll keep you abreast. A couple of them have already gone final. A couple more probably will go final by the time we're off the air tonight. We'll keep you updated on everything going on there. But the NHL is back. Before we dive too in, I know we did the gold medal show on Sunday and celebrated both the men's and women's teams winning gold. USA is now the kings of international and queens of international hockey.
Yeah. Yep.
It's still basking in that glow. But taking a pull back for a second, I would say for the PWHL, unquestionably a massive success for the Olympics. No doubt about it. No question about it. From the NHL perspective, this is the first time, again, that we'd had NHLers in the Olympics in 12 years.
Yeah.
Was this successful or was this not? Was this good for the NHL or was this bad for the NHL?
Absolutely great for the NHL, especially for the United States. And I mean, and great showing for Canada too. The Canadians up, they're all the fans north of the border are still bitching and moaning and complaining and wanting the overtime rule to change next year and that they were the better team and they dominated that game. But at the end of the day, they lost and the US won, and the US is the gold medalist. They are the best team in the world. So let's just put that to rest. It was fantastic. And I think we saw such a gathering of people that I don't think were hockey fans to begin with that are now hockey fans. I can tell you my coworker, who's not a huge hockey fan, he's getting into it. Obviously he works with me. So he watches the show and I'm educating on him, but he was so into watching that game, especially he woke up on, his day off Sunday to watch that gold medal game. It made a big influence on a lot of people. And I think it can be something that, without getting political, it's a proud moment for the country. And I think it was fantastic. I think it's going to grow the NHL. We saw our future stars center stage, and that was the most picturesque look of Jack Hughes with that smile on his face and that chipped tooth. That image is going to be embedded in our minds forever. And we can all look back to that. And thankfully, it was the NHL that was back playing this year in that league, in that tournament. And I think it was phenomenal. What about you?
I would agree. Anytime you're having the best players in the world be involved, the Olympics, let's face it, the Olympics are supposed to be the best of the best.
Yeah.
And with the NHL not including its players, that you obviously then weren't including the best of the best.
Right.
There was obviously something lacking. Now, it was still excellent hockey. It was still entertaining. It was still good to have, but it was really nice to have the NHL guys back. And plus, it's an opportunity to help grow your league by allowing your players to participate in it again. It's how many people now we're watching Team USA and that guy, he plays for my local team.
Exactly,
okay.
Adam. Exactly.
So I
want to know too, like how many local ice rinks in the United States just went up in volume with kids wanting to learn to play the game or adults, wanting to get out there and try it out. I mean, hockey is for everyone. And I think that was proven with this Olympics.
I'll give you a perfect example. Now, obviously, where I happen to be, I'm in a massive metro area, but our local rink already had on the books for next Saturday to have a try hockey for free event. And we kind of figured, even though my daughter already plays and is already there, we kind of figured that, okay, they're probably going to want her there at it just to help, potentially make other kids feel more comfortable or things like that.
Yeah.
The event is fully booked out.
Wow.
with a week and a half to go, we're full. We don't need it. We're looking at adding a second one the following weekend. So that right there gives you a little bit of an idea of what these Olympic Games did for both men's and women's hockey.
Yeah, that was something that we've never seen, you and I, in our lifetimes. And it's so, what a great moment it was for everybody, my whole family to watch this with me. And it was great. And it's something that you can look back on. And the women too. I mean, it wasn't just the men. The PWHL, it should be, patting themselves on the back right now because they have a golden opportunity to grow that league, and their players were fully on display as well.
Oh, and yeah, they've been blasting it all over their social media. Look,
you know what, Adam?
61 Olympians are in this league. Come check us out.
I'm going to tell you one thing. I think the NHL has already passed up the NBA as far as top professional sports organizations in the United States. I think, the NFL and MLB are still there, but I think NHL has moved into number 3 in that slot. And with things going the way they are with baseball, with all the rule changes lately, and what the Dodgers do, that's kind of going down as well, I think. And I think the NHL is in a prime spot to be one of the top sports in all of the United States. And it's just going to continue to grow. I think just watch, Adam. I think we're in a very good spot. And the NHL this season couldn't have been scripted any better because there's 26 teams in the league that have a legitimate chance to fight for the playoffs still with 25 games to go.
And we're gonna dive into some of those teams a little bit here in the show too, and give some ideas of who we like.
Yeah, again, so those who were watching the Olympics, perfect time to tune in and watch the NHL because every game the rest of this season matters. So it's not, you don't have guys, with load managements taking the night off or anything like that. You do have a few guys tonight.
I was going to say there are some tonight.
With the exception, right? With the exception, but no, great. I mean, the more fans, the better, and I think it's fantastic.
Absolutely. That being said, it wasn't perfect, and we did see some things from the Olympics we had some prime examples of why Gary Bettman and the owners had always been so worried about allowing their players to participate in this tournament. We had some certainly not insignificant injuries occur. One right there in Los Angeles that affects the Kings in a massive way. And you had one for the Pittsburgh Penguins with Sidney Crosby, with Team Canada's captain. And we find out earlier this afternoon, Sidney Crosby is headed for injured reserve. He's going to miss at least 4 weeks for the Penguins, right as you're getting into now the home stretch as everybody's trying to make their push for the playoffs. So not everything was perfect in this. What are some other notable things from the Olympics that jumped out?
The biggest one, obviously, is that Crosby injury. Adam, when we talked last Wednesday, we both didn't know the significance of his injury and assumed, he's going to be out there playing for that gold medal game. And then it turned out that he didn't. So, I thought, this is more serious. And now we find out, he's going to be out at least 4 weeks. And right now, Penguins, they're sitting second in the Metro, 1 point ahead of the Islanders with 70 points. They're 5 points to the good into the playoff picture right now, ahead of Columbus and Washington with 65. But losing Crosby for the next 4 weeks, that's the end of the season, basically. That takes us almost to the middle end of March. Yeah. And that gives us only a couple weeks. Now, Pittsburgh, are they going to be a seller, or are they going to buy right now, because the trade deadline is next week as well? I don't know if this is the position they wanted to be in now.
It's
on an ownership standpoint.
Yeah, it certainly flips the calculus a little bit on its head for the Penguins. They're going to be fascinated to see what they do. I do like Brian Francione's comment here on YouTube. Hey, challenge accepted, sir. He asked, "How can anyone be hungover when the game was at 8 o'clock in the morning
Yeah.
Eastern time?" Hey, there were bars all up and down the East Coast that
There were
there were municipalities that were altering their rules on when alcohol could start being served specifically for that gold medal game Sunday morning.
Even on the West Coast here in Southern California, there were multiple watch parties throughout Southern California. I thought, and that's at 5 a.m. out here. So yeah,
you can't drink all day if you don't get started right when you wake up. That's all I'll say on that.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, I mean that those injuries, obviously the Kings losing Kevin Fiala, multiple fractures in his left leg. That's huge, especially after they just made that big trade for Artemi Panarin. He's going to make his debut in about 10 minutes from now, to be honest. Yeah, I thought it was fantastic. Not too many injuries. We did see a few. We did see, a little bit of nastiness and stuff like that, but the one thing we are seeing tonight, though, are some of the teams who had guys playing on both the U.S. and Canada rosters taking the night off. For instance, with Vegas, Mark Stone, Mitch Marner, Noah Hannafin, Jack Eichel, Shea Theodore, all those guys are out of the lineup tonight. And they're playing my Kings. And there is no way you would think that the Kings could lose this game tonight. They have got to pick up the 2 points. And yeah, there were some other guys, Nathan McKinnon not playing tonight as well for Colorado. That's a big game for them because they're so close in the standings to Dallas and Minnesota. So just a couple of those things. I understand the travel and they just put their bodies through a lot, but I expect everybody to be 100% come this weekend.
Yeah, and no Connor McDavid for the Oilers as well.
Right.
He's
yeah. And there's a chance he may not play again tomorrow night.
Yeah.
In LA against the Kings. So the Kings are in another perfect example with guys out that they got to capitalize. If they don't come away with a win tonight, that is horrible because they just had two of the worst losses of the season going right into the break. They're close. They're only 3 points out of a spot, but they're only 3 points from 10th.
Yeah, I do understand why you have some players taking a little bit of extra time. Italy, the time change thing, that is real. That is a real thing. I know many years ago when I had a little bit more hair up here and I was yet in college, we had the opportunity to go to China for a couple of weeks and go on tour.
Very nice.
Amazing experience, all that. For the point of this though, that's a 12-hour time difference.
You're right.
It took when we got back, it literally took a week to readjust. And I was in my early 20s, a little bit younger than a lot of these guys. That is a real thing. And you combine that with also the storms that were just blasting the Northeast. And even if that wasn't their destination, New York was getting hammered by snow. Every single flight was getting affected by that. So guys' travel got disrupted. I understand why you have some players that are, you know what? My body still doesn't know what time
of course.
it is. Yeah, I need the extra day. I need the extra 2 days.
It's not like the NHL started practicing again as soon as the Olympics were over. They started last week. So the teams were already practicing to be in game shape in case, some of these players coming back weren't able to play, that the rosters and teams are ready to go still. So for the Kings, though, they really didn't have anybody other than like really Adrian Kempe and Yoel Armia play any significant time. We did lose Fiala, but Darcy Kemper didn't play. So he's going to be nice and healthy and ready to go, hopefully, for this stretch run as well. But yeah, Vegas, sitting out their big guns. They're what? They have 68 points in the Pacific, 4 ahead of the Oilers, 5 ahead of Seattle, and 5 ahead of the Ducks. And if the Ducks, beat the Oilers tonight and then they play Anaheim next, we're going to have, 4 or 5 teams all within like 3 points of each other.
Yeah. Yep. All right, so let's dive in a little bit. We have enough Olympic talk there, so let's dive back, and we are underway. Who are some of the teams that you are keeping an eye on as the NHL season restarts? They've got this is it. This is the big push to the end of the regular season. We're talking every team at this point, as I'm pulling up to refresh and remind myself, but basically every team you're talking is right around that 25 game or so mark
Right.
of what's left to go in the season. Who are some of the teams that you're going to be keeping an eye on as we get restarted?
Well, a few teams in the Eastern Conference, obviously Pittsburgh, we talked about that already. I think they're in trouble with Crosby being out. Columbus, however, were going into the break on a 7-game winning streak and were 11-1. I think with Rick Bonus or something like that. It's something stupid. And they're on fire. If they can continue that and Boston and Buffalo slip up, we can see Columbus making a push. I'm also curious to know how the Maple Leafs respond. And if Austin Matthews, we saw what he did for the United States. He was captain. Can he step up and deliver and carry the Leafs into the playoffs? I would like to see that happen. I mean, that would be a really good story, as well as Austin Matthews just puts the team on his back and takes the Maple Leafs to the playoffs. They're still, 6 points out at this time, but I think they still have a chance. And then we're talking in like the Western Conference. Utah and Anaheim are 2 teams that I think are going to make the playoffs. Now, whether or not Anaheim finishes like second, third, or in the Pacific or in a wild card slot, that is still to be determined. And what are we going to see out of Connor Hellebuck and the Jets? The Jets aren't out yet. They're 11 points out. Can they make a stretch run? We just saw him play the best game of his career. Can he do the same thing and lead the Jets into a playoff push? Those are some of the teams I'm looking at. The Jets, Columbus, the Ducks, Utah, and maybe the Maple Leafs.
It's a good list. A lot of similarities there with
Yeah.
my list too. So I'll jump over and add a few names in there though. I am really interested to see how Colorado restarts.
Yeah.
Colorado got off to such an unbelievable start to the season, but
Mhm.
they were really starting to fade as we got into the Olympic break. I'm curious to see how the Avalanche will come out of this restart. They've got on their schedule, of course, they've got the game going on right now tonight against the Mammoth. No
Mhm.
score in the first intermission. In the first intermission, there, they've got. They then turn around. They host the Wild tomorrow night, and then they play the Blackhawks on Saturday.
Mm.
And they do. Excuse me. They do. No, it's not a back to back. I'm sorry. They host the Blackhawks then on Saturday. The Kings also then next week, and the Ducks in Anaheim the night after that,
Mm.
and then a massive one next Friday night in Dallas against the Stars. That's 1, 2, 3. Can I count? Probably not. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6
Mhm.
games. If they come out of that with 5 point, that like 4 to 7 or 8 point range.
Yeah.
We're going to have to start putting Colorado kind of on watch a little bit there. Of
Yeah.
these guys
It
may have faded too soon. That they may have flashed and fizzled too fast.
I think so, and we'll see. They had a lot of guys that were playing in the Olympics as well. They were 4-5-1 their last 10 before the break. Meanwhile, Minnesota was 8-1-1, and Dallas was 7-3. Both those teams were riding 5-game plus winning streaks, and Dallas is on the verge of winning already tonight. Yeah, I think a lot of pressure is on Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
Is this going to get psychological? You think maybe for like Nathan McKinnon? if he doesn't start scoring in these games, he just missed the most wide open net in the history of Olympic hockey. When he hit the side of that net, they could have given Canada the lead and they would have ended up winning that game. I know it. If he doesn't score for like a game or two coming out of this, I might be concerned that he's going to press himself too hard.
He might.
I don't know.
At the same time, you get one, and man, that can
then he can go on a roll again. Yeah, I'm just saying. I don't know. Something. It's like a field goal kicker, missing that game winning kick to put themselves into the Super Bowl, and then they go on and they can't hold a kicking job the rest of their career. That kind of thing could be big. I don't know. Obviously you can put it past you and move forward. There's another goal at hand, and that's to win the Stanley Cup. So I think he's the kind of player that's going to do that, but you never know, Adam. I'd like to keep track and see how he does. He may just prove us all wrong and score later as soon as we get off the air here.
Yeah, I was going to say he might also turn around and tomorrow night get a hat trick. And okay, he's back, he's fine. Another team that I'm going to be keeping an eye on because of Sidney Crosby's injury, Pittsburgh, is fascinating at this point. As you brought up, sitting second place in the Metro right now, 8 points behind Carolina, but more importantly than that, they are all of a point in front of the Islanders, 3 points in front of the Capitals, and only 5 points in front of the Blue Jackets. All it takes is a bad couple of weeks, and all of a sudden the Penguins could be sitting there at 5th or 6th place in the Metro. And with Sidney Crosby going to be missing a month, this is going to be fascinating to see what the Penguins do. I want
to see what they're made out of, and losing Crosby is going to be huge. I don't think it's going to go well for the Penguins the rest of the season, and that really sucks because nobody expected them to be where they were at right now this point in the season. They're 10 points shy of where they finished last year, and they just made a trade with Colorado. They got Sam Girard and a second-round pick next year, and they sent Brent Kulak, who they got in the Tristan Jarry trade from Edmonton. He's going to Colorado, so a swap of defensemen there. But, I don't know if Pittsburgh is in a position to buy, and that kind of puts that team like in a predicament where the guys who they've got have got to step up and carry the load while Sid's out.
Absolutely. All right, so let's do a quick game here. We're going to do this kind of rapid fire style. As I'm going to put Freddie ever so much on the spot here. I mean, we talked about it a little bit ahead of time, but we talked about it in the pre-show meeting. But at the same time, I'm altering the deal. Pray I don't alter it any further. I have the buttons. We're going to play a game of who's in, who's out, and we're going to do this rapid fire style. I'm just going to give you a team, and you give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down on them. All right?
Okay.
We're going to start off. We'll start off with an easy one. The Rangers, in or out on the Rangers?
Oh my God! Big thumbs down. They're going to sell the farm right now. The Panarin trade was just the beginning of the dismantlement that I think we're going to see out of the Rangers over the next week.
All right, so that was it. That was an easy one. How about the New Jersey Devils?
I give them a thumbs down as well. They didn't show anything to me so far at this point in the season. And I mean, they could definitely go on a run, but there's so many teams ahead of them in the Eastern Conference. I don't think it's possible. Great story for Jack Hughes if he can just continue to have a good season. If he could lead this team into the playoffs, that would be, two amazing stories. He could be in contention for an ESPY for the greatest hockey player of the year. But I don't think that's happening with New Jersey. I think they're going to be selling. I know guys like Nico Hischier are probably going to be dealt. Dougie Hamilton has already expressed his concern, and I think he's waiving his no trade clause, so he may be dealt here as well. That's a thumbs down for the Devils.
All right. The Toronto Maple Leafs.
I'm going to go thumbs up. And I was just kind of what I talked about just before. I want to believe that the Maple Leafs can finally do this, and this would be one heck of a rundown to get into the playoffs. They're not that far out, but it could be done. What are they going to get in goal is really going to be it. And can Austin Matthews and Michael Nylander really, pave the way and start scoring multiple goals a game and getting this club rolling? I think it could be done. And I again, they're like Florida and they're like New Jersey. There's too many teams ahead of them, but I think the Leafs might be a team that can do it. If not, Craig Berube's done.
All right. Oh, all right. Okay. All right. Now,
I mean, Canada's going to burn if the Leafs don't make the playoffs. They've already lost the gold medal in the men's and women's hockey, and now if the Maple Leafs don't make the playoffs, I mean, Toronto's going to burn.
It's been a rough fall/winter sports season. You had the Blue Jays come this close to winning the World Series.
Right.
You lose in Olympic hockey in both men's and women's the United States. And then, if the Maple Leafs miss, oh, dear heaven, just stay out of Toronto for a month and a half.
I'm giving them a thumbs up on the belief that they can do it, but they're kind of like even for me.
All right. I'm gonna punch a little below the belt here and go into the feels for both of us here. The LA Kings, are you in or out?
I'm in. And I think that they still have a team that they're not far out of it, Adam, and they do have the veteran leadership. They just got Panarin. He's going to play tonight, his first game. I think he's going to be big, but we did suffer a big loss offensively. I think this Olympic break is actually what the Kings needed. Quentin Byfield, recharge his batteries. He's had a very bad season by all of our standards. Anze Kopitar hits his final season. I think this has given him some rest. He's going to need to play the best hockey that he has left in him down this stretch run for the Kings. And I think that the Kings will do it. I don't think they're done making moves. I think there's multiple moves to be made, both buying and selling from Ken Holland. I am double thumbs up on the Kings. And it's just not because I'm a fan. I think that they're a better team. I mean, you can't go to lead the league in overtimes, and especially the amount of overtime losses that we've got. And, they're still that close with how bad they've been.
All right. We'll do two more here. This first one should be a pretty quick one. The Chicago Blackhawks.
As far as making the playoffs?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm going to say probably thumbs down, but one hell of a run so far this season. And points wise, what, Adam, they're 53 at 53 points. They're 10 points behind the Ducks, 10 points out. I mean, again, nobody thought that they were going to be where they were, much like Pittsburgh was. And Connor Bedard, is got to, step up his game a little bit. And I think the Blackhawks, they could be, I think they're going to be out, but they could definitely be a thorn in a lot of the team's sides in these conference matchups.
All right. I'm sure Team Canada is now regretting keeping Connor Bedard off of the Olympic roster. But
there's no doubt.
I'll save that for a separate tirade.
Yeah.
All right, last one here, purely because of the interest. Normally I would say a team sitting in last in the division at this point, they're done. Stick a fork in them. But we're talking about the two-time defending champions.
Yeah.
Where are you on the Florida Panthers?
I've kind of been on them all year to think that they're finally going to do it, but we've talked about it before, Adam. The amount of games that they've played, going deep and winning the 2 Stanley Cups in back-to-back years, it's going to take a toll. Matthew Tkachuk is obviously healthy. He's going to have that fire and that spirit. And I think that Florida can do this. I think that they can get in as well. Then who's out? If I'm saying Florida and Toronto get in, then who's out? Probably I'm going to say Boston and Pittsburgh are the two teams that don't make it if Toronto and Florida get in. But I think Buffalo still makes it, and maybe the Islanders or Columbus.
Interesting.
But I
Interesting.
mean,
Okay.
Florida, you don't want to make any excuses for them. They know what it takes to win. I like to see. I think the first 10 games out of this stretch will show us who the Panthers are. Are they going to be in contention, or will they be out in 10 games from now?
They are 8 points back of Boston for the final wild card spot in the East. And of course, that's where they're sitting also then divisionally as well. It's 8 points back of Boston. They'd have a harder time to get in as one of the top three, though the log jam there between Montreal, Buffalo, and Detroit, that does something with it. But interesting. All right, so we'll keep an eye on that.
What do you think, Adam?
At this point, I look at Florida, and I see that they're 8 points back, but they have to jump Toronto, Ottawa, Columbus, Washington, and Boston. That's 5 teams you're having to. It's not just the points; it's all the teams in between there. At this point,
that's what's so hard.
It's too big. Of course,
I'm
going to say that. And now they're going to go on a crazy run, and they're going to be the Florida Panthers, and they're going to make me look like an idiot. And I don't need any help in that regard.
What Florida has to do, just like the Kings, is make sure they win games in regulation. 3-point games, are great for nobody. if you're chasing, those are the worst. And you want to see that you want to win those games in regulation, especially if you're chasing a team. You don't want to give them 1 point, and you don't like to see other teams go into overtime as well. But yeah, very important for both the Panthers and the Kings. I think they're both kind of in that same spot. Both veteran teams, both I think can have what it takes to get it done. But I got to see what the Kings do tonight. They got to come out strong against Vegas, because if they don't, and they throw a goose egg up tonight and tomorrow, you can stick a fork in them.
Yeah. The 3-point games, they're great for television, not really good for just about anybody else at this point in the season. All right. We are going to take a deep breath, recollect ourselves a little bit. The NHL's not the only league getting restarted. Tomorrow night, the PWHL will be returning as well. They've got the Montreal Victory are in New York to take on the Sirens. We will get you reset and restarted for the PWHL as well. Right after this, here on the Neutral Zone on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all the sports. We will be back in just a couple minutes.
IE Sports Radio fans, this show is brought to you by Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky. Planet Jerky is the official jerky of the 2022 California League champion Lake Elsinore Storm, Single A affiliate of the San Diego Padres. This all brisket jerky has gluten-free options, contains no MSG, no sodium nitrate, is low in sugar, and high in protein. Go to their website at planetjerky.net and follow them on Instagram at Planet Jerky. Planet Jerky, the jerky that's on a whole other planet.
Rise and shine. It's 4 a.m. The stars are still out. The sun is beneath the horizon, but it's time to punch in and go to work. The comfort of your warm-ups turns into the grinding out of your reps as the clinking and the clinking of the plates create a symphony of euphoria. There's no other fill-in like it. Earn it, burn it, and take what's yours. IE Sports Radio has proudly partnered with Vital Apparel, a brand that not only fits great, but also promotes and donates to mental health research. Use our code IESR to get 15% off their comfortable and inspiring gym wear and help them on their amazing journey to support mental health. Go hard, take part in your iron therapy, and be strong. Because when your mental health is as strong as you are, there's no telling how far you'll go. For the last 10 years, IE Sports Radio has been bringing you amazing content ranging from interviewing legendary athletes, coaches, and other authorized media personnel to building tailor-made shows dedicated to all major sports cities around the country. Make sure to follow us at IE Sports Radio on X, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube to keep up with the latest in sports and with all of our shows. Also, make sure to check out our daily updated website at iesportsradio.com. At iesportsradio.com, you can see our daily show schedule and check out all of our show pages with personal bios to learn a little bit more about each of our awesome hosts. In addition to our show pages, you can catch the iSports Radio blog, Hall of Fame, Fans of the Month page, and our merchandise shop, including t-shirts, tank tops, caps, long sleeves, hoodies, and more. For now over a decade here at iSports Radio, we've continued to be by the fans, for the fans, and we thank you all for your support and for making iSports Radio your direct feed for all that is sports.
And welcome back on into the Neutral Zone here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Woo! Restarting hockey after the Olympics. Man, we got a lot that we got to get through in a quick amount of time, but we've been having a lot of fun with it. We're talking NHL now. We're going to change things over and get you reset up for the PWHL. Their season is restarting tomorrow night. They've got obviously not as many games on the docket. They've got one game tomorrow, another one on Friday, one on Saturday before having a doubleheader on Sunday to kind of get things back underway. But we've got Montreal at New York tomorrow night in New York to get things restarted. So we'll get you kind of reset up, recalibrated, let you know where everything's standing there in the PWHL. Just about everybody at this point has played roughly half a season. The full season is 30 games. We've got most everybody has played at least 15. Boston and Seattle are the exceptions there at this point. They've only played 14. Otherwise, everybody else on the docket has at least 15 games in on it. Boston right now still the top of the league at 30 points overall. The two-time defending champ Minnesota Frost right behind them with 28 points. Montreal, they've got a big opportunity here tomorrow against New York. Those two teams, they're right next to each other in the standings. Montreal 3 points ahead. Now remember, PWHL does a 3-2-1 point system. So the 3 points, New York can make up that ground with a regulation win. Montreal would have a game in hand, as the Victory have only played 15 games while New York has played 16, but still an opportunity to catch Montreal there. Then you've got Ottawa with 22 points back in fifth. The expansion Vancouver Golden Eyes sitting in sixth place with 19 points. The Toronto Scepters with 17. And then the other expansion team, the Seattle Torrent, currently bringing up the rear in the league with 16 points. But they've also only played 14 games. So they've got over.
They beat Toronto. Yeah, they could beat Toronto tomorrow and leapfrog the Scepters. Tomorrow, if they beat them,
could leapfrog the Scepters tomorrow. Get out of the cellar a little bit. That game's in Seattle, so a late start for the Scepters. So,
Adam, what I'm also looking forward to is how each home arena and organizations honor the women, both the who played for the United States and for Canada and for any other country. They deserve a definite standing ovation in every single arena that they open up with. I think that they are so deserving of that. That's what I'm looking forward to doing, to seeing. I think we're going to see that, and they should, right?
Oh yeah, where it's going to be really interesting
When they go up to Ottawa.
Well, but yeah, Boston's first game. Now, Boston, you have, of course, Aaron Frankel, the top goalie, I would argue, in the world right now with the way she is playing, men's or women's. I would argue she's the best at it right now. You've got Aaron Frankel playing for Boston, Megan Keller, who got the golden goal for Team USA. She plays for Boston.
Yeah, dude, they get booed.
And Gwyneth Phillips, who was the backup goalie for Team USA, she's Ottawa's primary goalie. Boston opens the second half in Ottawa on Saturday night.
Yeah.
That reception is going to be fascinating to me.
I'm looking forward. I want to see how
all that goes. Yeah. Because Gwyneth Phillips, hey, you want to go? Oh, wait
you're
a minute.
Our goalie, but
wait a second. You're our goalie, but wait just a damn minute here. That's going to be for. I am sure that it's all going to be. It's all going to be with sisterly love. It is. I'm sure that it's going to be all right. Yes, you were the enemy then. You're ours now. Yeah. We do love you. Just don't do that to us again, okay?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's going to be very, very big grin.
Yeah, I don't know if it's as heated of a rivalry as it is on the men's side, but
it's.
I'm sure. Is it really?
Oh, that is. Do not.
Okay.
I'll put it this way. In women's Olympic hockey, they've been playing. It's been an Olympic sport since '98. Mm-hmm. You have had two countries win gold: U.S. and Canada. That's it.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right with that. Yeah, but I don't know about the trash talking and stuff like that. Is it as prevalent as we see when it comes to the men? But yeah, I'm sure there's some heated rivalries between the two women's countries as well.
There will be some good natured bad blood going on there between the two. But that is a fascinating
Boston. Yeah.
Yep. Go Boston. That is a fascinating restart. Kudos to the PWHL schedule makers for that one, for having Boston open in Ottawa Saturday afternoon.
They just knew, right?
Yeah, they had a good feeling of what was going to be coming down the pipe. Yeah. And for the Ottawa Charge, that is a huge potential 3 points on the line for Ottawa. Ottawa is only 3 points behind New York, Ottawa is 2 points behind New York and 5 points behind Montreal. So a big, very needed 3 points potentially on the line there for the Ottawa Charge. For the Boston Fleet, you've got to feel with the season they've been having that they'll be okay, even if they suffer a loss here. This has been such an incredible run at this point for the Fleet as they sit atop the PWHL with 30 points, and they still have over half their schedule left to go as well.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, it's just going to be just as fun and exciting of an end to their regular season as it is for the men's in the NHL.
Yeah, it will be great theater, great to see there. I'm also wondering at this point, are we headed for Boston versus now? Minnesota's the two-time reigning champs. Mm-hmm. They defeated Ottawa last summer. It was Boston a couple summers ago that they beat en route to the inaugural Walter Cup championship and Walter Cup title. I'm wondering if we are headed for a rematch there.
I think so, Adam. And You know what? I wouldn't be surprised if Minnesota finishes the regular season in first. They're the highest scoring team in the PWHL, and Boston is the best defensive team in the league. So, yeah, I'm really excited to see. I think, Boston has had an incredible season. I think they started like 7-0 or 7-0-1 or something like that. I could be wrong, but yeah, Minnesota's right there, and they've won it, like you said. I think those two teams are gonna have a very nice battle towards the very end.
Yeah. Well, you brought up Minnesota, the highest scoring team. The top three leaders in points in the PWHL are all with the Minnesota Frost. Kelly Panic, Taylor Heisey, and Britta Curl-Salami all atop the PWHL in points right now. Brianne Jenner is tied with Kelly Panic of Ottawa, so a little bit there, but Minnesota has done an excellent job of scoring this year. But Aaron Frankel is just playing so well. The only goalie that I would put really kind of in the same class is who we just saw playing for Team Canada in the Olympics, Anne Renee Desbiens.
Right.
Is the only other goalie that's really in the same class, and we saw kind of how that went in the Olympics too. That Aaron Frankel still wound up with the better of her in that. But I'm feeling like I would not be surprised at all if we wind up with Boston, Minnesota again as we get ready to restart. Now, there's a lot of games yet to play.
Yeah.
They've only played half their schedule to this point, and you've got the league. You're talking the difference right now in being in or out of the playoffs is not a whole lot. You're talking 8 points are separating Boston. Boston right now from as I pull it.
And like you said too, Adam, they're 3-point games. If you win the game in regulation, you can bump yourself right back into the mix.
Yep. Yeah. All you have to do is avoid that regulation loss and you're getting points. But the ability to get 3 points in a regulation win is just massive. And Boston leads the entire league in that 8. They've tied for the fewest games played, but they've got the most regulation wins of anybody with 8. The Ottawa Charge, they've won 9 games, but 5 of those have come in overtime, so they're losing out on a lot of points. That's a lot of points they're losing out on, and that could be problematic. I mean, that's right there. That's 5 points. They're only back 8. They'd be 1 regulation win away if they were doing a little bit better there. So
yeah, we'll see, Adam. It's going to be fun to watch that. Just this whole year in general has just been fantastic. What we've seen, just this last week and what we're going to lead up to is a magical year. This 2026 season is something else. And now, I mean, what's next on the list here, Adam? I mean, the hockey is great everywhere. That college hockey is heating up too, right?
The college hockey is heating up. Gavin McKenna. So we're going to talk about this before we get out of here tonight. And thank you again for tuning in as we're back on our regular time and regular night after we had some fun this weekend after Team USA gave us some fun Sunday morning, and we decided to have a little bit of fun right along with them.
Yep.
We would be remiss though if we did an hour-long show and we did not talk about what Gavin McKenna did last week. So Freddie, set the stage for us here a little bit.
Oh yeah, fantastic. Hold on, let me get my stats here. Gavin was incredible. Penn State was playing Ohio State, and they play a home back-and-back 2 games in the series. And in the first game, Gavin McKenna set his personal record for 1 goal and 7 assists, 8-point night in that beatdown of Ohio State in that first game. And then in the second game, he goes out and he scores the game winner in overtime. And I think right now he is heating up at just the right time. Penn State's back to number 5 in the country. And I think that he is solidifying himself as the future number 1 overall pick in this coming NHL draft.
Oh yeah, I think any doubt of that has been removed at this point. You get 8 points in a single game. That's impressive
that's video game stuff right there.
That's impressive in a 12U game, in a junior hockey game. I don't care what level of hockey you're playing. That is an impressive game when you're dropping 8 points in a single game. To do that in an NCAA game is darned impressive. And then turn around the next night and, I'm just going to get the game-winning goal too while we're at it.
Exactly. Yeah, but I mean, we're the last 2 weekends of the regular season for college hockey before we get into the playoff and Frozen Four time. But yeah, the top 5 right now: Michigan State sitting at number 1, Michigan at number 2, North Dakota number 3, Western Michigan, who I watched play a game during the Olympic break as well. Kings prospect Hampton Slukinski is goalie, and man, that guy, he could be the future of the Kings in net. I was able to watch him. Great game in net for number 4 Western Michigan. They play North Dakota this weekend, so that's going to be a fantastic game. We got number 3 against number 4, and that could ultimately be number 1 seeding in their bracket of the playoffs.
That could very well determine a top seed in the Frozen Four. Absolutely. And tell you what, the Broncos, that program, it's obviously the defending national champions, but that program is absolutely coming along there over in Kalamazoo. Good
yeah,
stuff
they're good team to watch for sure. And again, can they repeat as champs? Or are we going to see, Penn State? They're starting to get hot again. Can they make another run? I'm excited, and we have the 2 Michigan schools, Adam. So it's been a really good year so far in the collegiate ranks as well.
I said it a few weeks ago, and I'm sure it was blasphemy then, but I'm going to blaspheme right ahead again now.
With Michigan,
the state of Michigan. We're just going to call it the new state of hockey, the Mitten State. And I'm not just saying that because it happens to be where I live. But all right, with that. That is going to do it for our show here this evening. Want to give some thank yous, of course, to our sponsors, Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky, the jerky that's on a whole other planet. Go to planetjerky.net to place your order. They are still offering free shipping on all orders $50 or above. I would recommend the Volcanic Jalapeno, but they've also got stuff that's a little bit on the milder side if you're worried, or they do have stuff that'll just absolutely blow your tongue off if you want to go that route too. Also say thank you to Vital Apparel, the brand that not only fits great, but also promotes and donates to mental health research. Go to vitalapparel.com, and when you check out, be sure to use the promo code IESR. You get 15% off of your order. And be sure to follow along with not only the show, but also the station on all of your favorite social media platforms, on Twitter, on TikTok, on YouTube at IE Sports Radio. Also, go check out the website, iesportsradio.com. You can watch the episodes there from the website, as well as check out information about the station and the hosts and insiders that we have. This show is also available for you on Twitter. We are at IESR Neutral Zone. He is at Freddie B_sports. I am at Adam_Karnik. I was tweeting along with the show as we were going along there. Also, thank you to Larry B, the czar and overlord of all things IE Sports Radio, for all the hard work you're doing behind the scenes, good sir. It does not go unnoticed, nor is it unappreciated. Thank you to everybody that was chiming in the chat room as well. Brian Francione, Mikey Two Guns, and we got a late one in there, ASCII, that's saying good evening. So thank you to everybody that was tuning in. Thank you to everybody that was watching the show live tonight across YouTube and Twitter. Really do appreciate you guys taking time out of your sports week to spend some time with us. Next week, we'll have more NHL stuff as the trade deadline will be upon us. We'll see what happens with the PWHL. We'll keep you updated on everything in the college ranks. We'll see what other silly stuff comes along the way, too. Until then, he's Freddie. I'm Adam. Have a great week, everybody. We will see you next time.
Good night, everyone.